Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
I am Lauren. Yes, I am.
There she is. A little slow in the uptake.
It's not slow on the uptake.
A little bit. Instagram, okay. Find us on Instagram. You'll search Wilder Show Pod, and you'll like us and follow us, and we really, really appreciate that. If you want to send us email, just email podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. So like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And you'll find us also on the TikTok. Look for Wilder Show on the TikTok. Very sad beginning to our time. Marshawn Kneeland.
Yeah.
24-year-old Dallas Cowboy. If you watched the game the other night, it was a game we lost, but he scored his very first touchdown. Mm-hmm. He plays defense, so it's kind of a big deal. When you block it, you pick it up, and you run it in. Yeah. And he did that. And it was awesome. Without going into full details, because it involved, just briefly, it involved a traffic stop, and then ultimately a police chase, and then the car was found wrecked, and the driver of the car, who was Marshawn Kneeland, it turns out, they didn't know at the time, Marshawn Kneeland fled, and then was later found having taken his life with a gun.
Yeah.
So it's just tragic.
Very sad.
His family or friends, there are reports, and it'll be different maybe by the time this even is heard by you. I will know more because this just sort of happened. Some reports that he had expressed some suicidal ideations, and all is just tragic and sad. And let me just say this: if you are experiencing those kinds of thoughts and feelings, you can text or call 988.
That's right.
988.
It's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Yeah. So we'll start with that. I know it's tough news, and just one more word, and gosh, it gets misty when I think about it. But if this is you, you are not alone. So text or call 988. Okay, we have things to dive into, but I wanted to get that done absolutely first. There is a weird law in the Maldives. You know the Maldives? It's a beautiful place. I've never been.
The Maldives, the most I know about the Maldives is I remember that there's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit photo shoot there at some point that I don't remember ever seeing the finished products from it.
The land was competing with the girls.
It might have been like an old Christy Brinkley thing or something. Sure. Like maybe when she was married to Billy Joel, and so it was a bit. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm. There's a very weird law that when I read it, I thought, this is interesting. Maybe we want to talk about this. Then I thought, you know what? I'm sure I misunderstand this. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I read it wrong. It turns out I didn't. But having read it right is bizarre. Yeah. Don't you think? We'll talk. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about it because I think it's a very interesting, sort of weird thing. The Maldives. So that's coming up. Travel mayhem. If you are traveling, man, now is not. Normally this time of year, you and I would be traveling a couple of weeks in a row. I am so thankful.
Yeah, me too.
That we're not having to travel because, man, you talk about a nightmare travel. It all has to do with the shutdown, and we'll talk about the shutdown and the travel mayhem that the shutdown is causing. Mamdani won, and we'll talk about that. And in Scattershoot, November is a special designation for November.
Yeah,
you probably know about.
Okay,
but I have an add-on. There's maybe more to it than you knew. So we'll talk about that coming up in Scattershoot.
Okay, and something else in Scattershoot. Yeah. Would you clone your dog if you could afford it? I mean, if it is available, but would you be interested in doing that?
All right, we'll explore that.
Clone your dog. Also, kids, risk taking. in the teen years
Yeah.
is looking different than it looked like when even when our kids were teenagers,
Okay.
and certainly, probably when we were teenagers. And helicopter parents, we've talked. I'm gonna ask you when the first time was that you actually heard that term.
Okay.
And what helicopter parenting of young kids has sort of turned into for college age kids.
Okay.
We'll look at all of those things and
Okay.
maybe even a few more things if we have time.
Let's start with the Mamdani win.
Okay.
I saw Ted Cruz just sort of freak out about the Mamdani win. I didn't have the same reaction. I didn't feel what a lot of people have said, the sky is falling and this is Mamdani. I do think it's weird that you're going to have Mamdani sort of overseeing the 25th anniversary of the bringing down of the World Trade Center towers, of course, brought down by radical Muslims.
Right.
And Mamdani is going to oversee that whole thing. Just a very bizarre thing. And all the things that he promised, the buses, free.
Fast and free.
Fast and free. Let me tell you something. I've been to New York. Ain't nothing fast in New York. When I've stayed in New York, I stay in near Battery Park. And Battery Park is way there at the tip. And I have to walk past the financial district to get to around Trinity Church, where Trinity Church is. The building where I work there in the city in Manhattan is right next door to Trinity Church. I can walk there faster than I can take a cab. I can walk there faster. So I don't know how all of a sudden magically there will be buses that are free. I understand, but fast.
Fast is another
thing. No idea. Yeah. So Mamdani won. California Prop 51. Virginia elected a Democrat. New Jersey elected a Democrat. So sounds dire. Not really. Not to me. Blue cities and blue states elected Democrats. That's really it. Except for Mamdani being more radically, obviously socialist than Cuomo. But basically, that's what happened with Tuesday's elections. Not a real cause, I don't think, of concern. I don't think for Republicans it isn't. Now, I think it may be a problem for Democrats. Because here's what to watch for. Mamdani winning would seem to propel AOC, probably emboldens her to run against Chuck Schumer. If Schumer were smart, he would retire and open the door for her. But I hope he doesn't. I would like them to spend lots of money fighting each other, because every dollar spent fighting each other in the primary is a dollar not available to fight Republicans in the general election. So I kind of hope they don't do that. Another something that could be a challenge or a problem for Democrats is Prop 50 winning in California. That was the redistricting that they did there to combat what Texas did. When that passed, it really elevated Gavin Newsom to the top of the Democrat Party, I think, and the likely frontrunner in the 2028 presidential race. So that is what I think is the big takeaway from Tuesday. I just don't think it's that big a deal. Yeah. I think it's going to be, look, he's going to fail. Mamdani is going to fail in New York. There's no way he's going to be able to achieve the things that he says. You just can't do it. And you're seeing story after story after story of millionaires who say, you know what, we're going to move out of the city. We don't want to be involved in that. 40% of New York City residents are foreign-born. 40% of New York residents are foreign-born. That is 3.4 million immigrants out of only 8.5 million residents. Think about that for a second. We were told not so long ago, years ago, obviously, told that New York City had 20 million people, right? 20 million people. Yeah. So, but 40% of the 8.5 million residents in New York City are foreign-born. So seeing things differently than perhaps those that are not foreign-born, it's not really a surprise.
No.
They might have an openness to Mamdani that others would not have. Just one final thing on Mamdani. Newly elected mayor, New York City, Zohran Mamdani, in his first big interview, really day one, right? Because he doesn't get sworn in until January 1st. But after the election, he is being interviewed by George Stephanopoulos on how he plans to Trump-proof New York. And he went absolutely full socialist. Here's what he said. You raise taxes on the top 1% by 2% and increase the corporate tax from 7.25 to 11.5. That raises about $9 billion. Stephanopoulos fires back. Aren't you worried that that'll drive job creators out of New York? Mamdani doubles down. It's not a problem. Then comes the knockout punch. Stephanopoulos then reminds him, you can't really raise income taxes in the city without state approval. And the governor of New York, Governor Hochul, has already said she won't raise taxes on the wealthy. So translation, Mamdani's Trump-proof plan crashed and burned 24 hours after he's elected.
Yeah.
Well, all this free stuff he's going to get. What he's saying is, get me elected. I'll give you free stuff. You get him elected. And then he says, okay, we're going to do this. And we're going to do this. And they go, oh, it's impossible.
My hands are tied.
This is what the newly elected governor of Virginia was saying.
Yeah.
You promise these things. People believe you. And when you know, or should know, that you can't do it, you're lying.
And it kind of makes them all look bad.
Sure it does.
Right?
So this is what I think is going to be the way it's going to be talked about, is Democrats are the party of Mamdani. The shutdown. You remember that I said that I thought the shutdown is going to get fixed. Probably the beginning of the end of the shutdown would happen after the election, that Democrats needed it as a campaign issue, and that once its value as a campaign issue is over, it would have lost its value to them. And lo and behold, it looks like there are great efforts being made now to end the shutdown. Now, in the meantime, traveling is a nightmare. Airlines are prepared to phase in hundreds of flight cuts at the busiest airports starting today, this morning. In New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Chicago, all because of the government shutdown. The FAA ordered to reduce air traffic at 40 of the busiest airports, and that all takes place looking at the different airports. Seattle is one. These are all places we go. Detroit, Minneapolis, Chicago, D.C., Boston, New York, Miami, Houston, Honolulu, Anchorage, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland. This will bring with it, obviously, great pressure to put an end to this.
Yeah.
I still say that it's going to end by the 14th. I just believe that it's going to. The value of it to Democrats is over. And it may be a wash. It may be a deal where as many people think it was Republicans' fault as think it was Democrats' fault. But the value to Democrats, now they voted 14 times against a continuing resolution. But I really believe, if not by the end of the week this week, by the end of the week next week, or whenever the 14th is. In any case, I believe that by the 14th, it's going to be taken care of. But, I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong, but I don't think I am. This is a very strange story, and you are always, Lauren, the voice of reason on things. And I mentioned it to you, and I said what I thought it meant, and then you had what you thought it meant, and I was like, oh, yeah, totally. It's got to be that.
Yeah.
It can't be. That's stupid. What I thought it was is completely stupid. How could I have misunderstood? This is not about being right or being wrong. It's so weird that you think that can't possibly be so. And so I was telling you a story about the Maldives. Maldives is a string of islands somewhere. It's an island or a set of islands, I think, in the is it archipelago? It's archipelago.
Archipelago.
I think so. South Asian. Anyway. Here is the story, and the story has to do with smoking, and it is a smoking ban. And I thought, okay, this is a very weird thing. How could this be true? The story, as I read it, was anyone born after January 1st, 2007, you can't smoke. You can't buy cigarettes. And I was telling you, isn't that crazy that all of a sudden, like half the people or whatever number of people, those people can still, but these people now can no longer. And you said, but isn't that kind of like you're saying young people
like here you
can't buy cigarettes till you're 21.
Is it 21 or 18 or 21?
No, it's 21. You have to be 21 to buy. And I thought, yeah, of course, that makes sense. And I think I even said to you, if that's what it means, we can't even talk about it. It's stupid. Yeah. Big deal. The Maldives are not letting 15-year-olds buy cigarettes anymore and making them be 20 or whatever it would be if you were born on or after January 1st, 2007. But it turns out it is a ban for life.
So to me, I understand that, which is it. I mean, this makes the Maldives the first country in the world to enforce what they call a nationwide generational tobacco ban.
Right.
But still, if I just read that, a nationwide generational tobacco ban, that maybe that is what it means, and I just don't know enough to know that means we're snuffing it out really is the first term that came to mind, with this generation. And then that, from here on out, nobody will, eventually all of the smokers will just die off. Yeah.
Well, let me give you the details. It was on May 21st of this year that the president, Maldives, ratified an amendment to the Tobacco Control Act that introduces a generational ban, as you said.
Yeah.
Under the amendment, anyone born on or after January 1st, 2007 is prohibited for life from purchasing or using tobacco products in the Maldives. The law takes effect on November 1st. It's in effect now, November 1st, 2025. Sales to those born from 2007 onward will be illegal and is currently illegal from here on out. So the responsibility is put on the seller to verify age, birthday, purchase, blah, blah, blah. And it's not just cigarettes. E-cigarettes.
And vapes.
Yeah. Stricter import controls. And the whole thing is emphasizing a cessation of the use of tobacco. It's not simply a temporary ban, as we said. Rather, for the post-2007, the law says they will never legally purchase or use tobacco in the Maldives, as we said.
Did you know
that's crazy?
The British Parliament is considering a similar bill, which, if passed, would bar anyone born after January 1st, 2009 from procuring and using tobacco and vapes. Is there anything in... There's a part of me that wonders if, generations to come, when everyone has stopped smoking, will anybody say, can you believe they used to smoke? They used to let people smoke, period. Not just anywhere, but that they let people smoke at all. Do you think it's you can't even really say that this would be the beginning of the end because we already used to be able to do it on airplanes and, in our toddlers' faces, if that's what, in a car with the windows rolled up and our three kids in the car. Not that I ever did that, but I know it was allowed. Yeah. We're already, sort of on a trajectory that makes this seem not that unusual, maybe.
I got to tell you, I think it creates criminals. I think it does. I think it would make more sense to me to ban it outright, to say, hey, no smoking anymore here. You can't buy tobacco. You can't use tobacco. You can't do it at all anymore. That would make more sense because
that might create a nation full of jumpy people who become criminals because they can't have their nicotine.
But that's what I'm saying. When you eliminate it for only some, you're just creating a black market. And we tried this in the United States with alcohol. We tried it also with cigarettes. Remember the whole thing? One of the great ways that the mafia, not that it exists, but the mafia was making money was in smuggling cigarettes.
Yeah.
We tried to make it illegal. And guess what happened? Organized crime exploded.
Yeah.
Bootlegging. Al Capone did not build his empire on charisma. He built it on prohibition.
Yeah.
I don't think it works this way. Now we'll watch it and maybe it'll work. But there's a part of me that says, so a brand new reason to get a fake ID, right?
Maybe.
If you want to show that you were born in December of 2006.
I don't know if this is that thing, but I don't know if we should shy away from doing the right thing because people are going to do the wrong thing anyway. And if we make it harder for them to do the wrong thing, they're going to do other wrong things. I don't.
But how is it the right
way.
thing? It's the right thing for a 23-year-old, but the wrong thing for a 21-year-old. I mean,
no, I understand what you're saying there.
I'm just saying it's like pick a lane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it you're trying to? If you're trying to get rid of tobacco use entirely, then go for it.
It might
and
also
see how that goes.
It might also be a thing with the tobacco sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Or the tobacco growers. We can't put them out of business immediately. We're going to give them time to figure out something else to do.
Tax the products. Go crazy on the taxing. Get the price so high, people self-deport, but you know what I mean? They
self-regulate. We have sort of a related, a mildly related story in Scattershoot, and I can't even remember if I mentioned the changing face of teenage rebellion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The changing face of teenage rebellion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have more stuff to outlaw.
Okay. All right. All right. So that is my that little tobacco update. The Maldives says no, but only for some. And the other thing is, if it is, what is the reason? What is the reason for health?
Yes,
so the
that's
reason
what they
is
say.
Okay. The reason is for health. So we don't want people who are 25 to be healthy. They will live perhaps another 50 years. And that's okay. Keep buying cigarettes. We'll keep selling them to you. It's all good. But if you're 20 years old, you can't do it. That's not a statement about health. I don't know. It's a statement about control. And again, they can do it if they want to. But if they really want to make it about health, it seems like you would really be super concerned about the people that have been doing it for 10 years, 15, 20 years. Those people, just think how many lives you could save if you stopped those people from having access to cigarettes. If you allow products on your island and then say, well, yeah, you can get it, but if you're a year younger, you can't get it. All you're going to do is create a black market.
I wonder what the statistics are in the Maldives. In America, fewer teenagers are smoking cigarettes.
I did look at that, and I think they smoke quite young there.
Yeah.
Like 15. Seriously, 15. But we talked about this before. When I was in high school, and you too, we had smoking circles. We had a smoking section at the high school.
Smoke outside.
Outside.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kids out there, and you skip lunch and just go outside and scoot your hair back and forth behind your ears and enjoy your cig. Oh, and since we were with you last, Dick Cheney died.
That's right.
And so he was 84 years old. Mm-hmm. And of course, he politically there toward the end, he voted for Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. He campaigned for Kamala Harris. It wasn't about Kamala Harris. It was an anti-Trump thing. Right. Did you notice, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, talk bad about anybody, but did you notice that even to this moment, President Trump hasn't said a word about Dick Cheney's passing? Not one word.
Yeah.
Now, the flags are at half staff. Mm-hmm. I was watching the press conference, the press briefing yesterday with Caroline Leavitt, and she was asked this question. And she said, well, the president's not made any announcement yet. Feel free to follow him on Truth Social. They always use it as a chance to pump Truth Social. Uh-huh. Follow the president on Truth Social. I'm sure if he has something to say, he'll say it there. You can find it there. How did she word it? She said, but you'll notice the flag outside is at half staff, and it will be that way for 10 days. Next question.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. Do you know why it's at half staff?
Is it not because of...
It's actually in law.
Oh.
It's not that
so it's not out of some great...
No, deference or an honoring, And that's the thing, the president could always do that. I mean, the soccer star, the football star, whatever, has passed. Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk passed when he was assassinated. The president said, we'll put it at half staff till, I guess, the end of the next day or something like that. And in this case, it's mandated that it be. It's former whatever. I don't know, this former president, vice president, whatever it is. But it wasn't because of that. Anyway, enough of that. Do you remember when Dick Cheney came to the radio station where he worked?
I do. It was a big deal.
It was days prior. They had Secret Service coming in, and they announced there would be a memo going out. Okay, guys, Secret Service is coming here today. They're going to be everywhere. Just do whatever they tell you to do. Get out of their way or whatever. And I mean, they sent cameras and stuff through the air ducts
and
everywhere in all the storage facilities. Anyway, that was the days ahead of time. On the day of, there were 27 police motorcycles in the escort. 27.
I don't think I was there for the actual visit.
It was there at Wilder Towers, which is right there by the airport. So Dick Cheney arrived at the airport, and then he got in the things, and he went, the very, very short travel, and came to the radio station. It was.
And if you weren't in by the time he was in, you couldn't come in. Everything was,
That's the thing. You had to be in, and you were locked in 2 hours ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then you had to stay an hour after. You couldn't leave until he had been gone for an hour. Mm-hmm. And there were snipers on rooftops next door. Remember that place right next door, the white building just up toward the freeway?
I do.
There were snipers on that rooftop. Anyway, it was crazy. And, he got out quickly after. Some of the Secret Service guys were getting out of the vehicles when the vehicles were still moving. I mean, the back pops open and guys get out carrying all kinds of heavy things and big bags, and you don't know what's in that. Some are having weapons you can see. All of them, I'm sure, have weapons that you can't see. And then at some point, one of the Secret Service, they were men, as I recall, all men, and he opens the door for Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney gets out, and I mean, they walk directly into the radio station. Somebody else already had the door open. Everything was minimal time exposed.
Do you think, I can't even imagine being in that kind of position where you're always surrounded by that much security, where the security precedes you and it follows you and it's all around you. What would your mindset be? Either you're not even aware of all of that protection because you feel so safe with it all there, or would you always feel vulnerable knowing that much protection was warranted because of the position you're in?
Yeah, because there is so much protection, it means I am at so much risk.
Yeah.
Or is it, hey, there's so much protection, I'm totally safe.
Yeah.
I think it's that. I think you don't pay attention to it. I think you do get used to it. I think you just trust it. I think they wouldn't let you go someplace if it's not safe, and all the protocol is in place. You trust the protocol. You trust your lead team. You trust the people that are with you, and you go about your business. Your job is to be who you are, and their job is to make sure that you're safe. And you stay in your lane, they stay in their lane, and probably things go well. But it was a very interesting thing to see the vice president. I remember, being stuck in the studio. I say stuck, fine. That's where I want to be. But they came in and they said, okay, you can't leave this room. Mm-hmm. And they brought the dogs in and had the dogs. They said, and just be still.
Yeah.
Roscoe is going to do his job or whatever. And the dog comes around, sniffs everything, goes to the room, comes back and just sits at attention right by his handler, and they go to the next studio.
Yeah.
And they shut the door and locked the door, and I was stuck. Then I saw him come in the lobby because my little fish bowl was right there. Mm-hmm.
Did you feel vulnerable at all knowing that
No, I think you feel safe. It's like after 9/11, you fly back into the United States after 9/11 on one of the first flights ever. You could say, man, isn't that scary? It's like, I think it may be the safest time
I've ever been.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. I mean, knowing what had just happened, that was scary. But I think when all the precautions, all the protocol is taking place, I think it's comforting, I think. And I think probably that's the way those guys have to be. That's why George W. Bush could, be so relaxed and, just his normal self.
Yeah.
Fix potholes.
I was just thinking back. It's so funny, that's our memory of Dick Cheney being in our, in our presence. The one time that I was, in the same office, in the same, breathing the same air as George W. Bush was when, at a different radio station many years before that, when he was, one of the owners of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
And there was there were a couple of guys with him, but nothing at all. I mean,
they're more like golf buddies.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't the governor yet.
No,
he wasn't, he wasn't, he was the son of, what would he have done? The son of the vice president at that time. But yeah, it was just, I was within yards of him and no dog had sniffed me at all.
That's funny. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right. What have we, Lauren, for? I have one thing. I normally, I don't bring much to the party.
To the Scattershoot table? To the Scattershoot party?
I think people have had enough of me by then, and so I normally just shut up.
I just think it's because you're interested in higher brow things.
I don't know about that. It's Brovember.
Brovember?
It's No Shave November.
Is that the same as Brovember?
Yeah, I call it Brovember.
Okay.
But No Shave November.
Yeah.
That's to bring awareness to men's cancers. Seriously, you knew that, right?
I did not know that.
Oh, really?
Did not know that.
That's why men we're encouraged to either grow a mustache or just generally don't shave during November, which I think is kind of tough because November is also Thanksgiving. Yeah. And by then you're really scruffy looking for the family gathering. Yeah. It doesn't really work. Anyway, so
you don't shave to bring awareness to men's cancers.
It's actually prostate cancer, I think.
Well, so do you go to the doctor in November to?
No, we still shave.
Yeah. Because I think part of the breast cancer awareness in October is to encourage. It's to bring attention to it, but to encourage women to get their mammograms too. So I wondered if
it is.
That,
in all seriousness, yes, it's to encourage men to go and get your tests.
I'm in favor.
Yeah. So, it's the visual.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
That is the reminder.
It's supposed to be prostate cancer awareness. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how successful it is, but we're giving it a shot.
Are you doing it? I can't tell. I mean, are you not? You're not shaving at all? Well, sometimes you do. You let it get a little scruffy for a little while. So I can't. It's early in the month still. I'm
not going to grow the full thing. You've seen that.
I have.
It's a tragic.
No, it's just.
Off-putting.
It's a little off-putting. Mm. I mean, it came so gradually that I didn't realize how off-putting it was until you got rid of it all, and then I thought, oh yeah,
hey, it's that old man's younger brother.
That is what he used to look like.
Now, let me say, I also have noticed there's something that I think it might be a retaliatory thing that you may not know about, and it really is the thing. That is what men are doing in November. Mm-hmm. What many women are doing in November.
What's that?
Is No Makeup November. This is for real. Yeah. No Makeup November. Mm-hmm. Now, let me say, I am a fan of the no or low makeup on women. Uh-huh. I don't think women make up themselves so much for men as they do for women anyway. Yeah. But the purpose of it is to challenge the reliance on makeup and to celebrate and embrace, as I do, one's natural appearance.
Gotcha.
So so if you see women that are not wearing makeup, it may not be that they forgot. They're doing this, inner beauty and.
It's rarely that we forgot. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah.
It's more so that we ran out of time or we just don't care that much anymore. Mm-hmm. I wear makeup fewer days in a month than I ever used to. Yeah. But part of that is because I used to be able to do it in the car in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. The older you get, the longer it takes.
Yeah, more to do.
To put on a face of makeup and I shouldn't say that for all women. That is just my experience. Yeah. And I need the mirror on the visor is not a magnifying mirror. Yeah, so I'm out of luck there. I need a full-blown lighted magnifying mirror and time.
Well, if you see guys that are a little scruffy, be kind. Mm-hmm. If you see women that are not wearing makeup like you think they should, be kind. The benefits participants report experiencing benefits such as improved skin health, reduced breakouts, if that's a problem, and a stronger sense of self-confidence.
Okay.
So if you'd like to participate, you may do so the entire month or just choose a shorter period. I know someone who said they are doing that except when they have to travel for business.
Okay.
So no makeup at all. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Focus on improving your skin through, routines, whatever you ladies do.
Yeah.
I only do jade rolling. But that's me.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
One caveat, it is not about makeup shaming, okay? It's not meant to demonize makeup.
Okay.
But just to challenge the idea that it is a necessity for feeling beautiful or feeling worthy. Mm-hmm. It is about the inner beauty. Not about the outer.
I'm
there you
all
go.
For that.
So scruffy men, makeupless women, welcome to November.
Okay. When you think of teen rebellion, when you were a teenager,
okay,
what did teenage rebellion look like? What did kids do who were the kids who were maybe, pushing back against the parents' rules?
I didn't do these things.
No, yeah, and I'm not
me.
asking that I think you were probably not really a very rebellious teenager, right? I was not a very rebellious teenager.
I saw all of my years as an experiment. I was the oldest, and I thought, I've never been 16. My parents have never had a 16-year-old, so we're sort of figuring this out together.
Yeah,
and if I play my cards right, then it can be very easy and good. And I did, and it was.
Yeah.
But the smoking weed was one thing, and a little bit of vandalism. Guys would do vandalism.
Yeah.
It could be something like, not like breaking stuff maybe necessarily, but egging something or doing something like that.
Yeah.
Or, not damaging ultimately anything.
One of the markers of teen rebellion in the past has been smoking cigarettes.
I meant to say that, of course, smoking cigarettes.
Smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol.
Sure.
And teens are drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes less than they ever have before.
Really?
It turns out that 20% of 15 to 16-year-olds have tried alcohol. That's down from 71% of 10th graders in 2000. So just 25 years ago. The same survey based on results from, now these are results from parents. These are parents reporting. So this might not be exactly what the numbers are, but I mean, if they're parents who are keeping an eye on their kids, they're probably pretty close.
Okay.
Cigarette and drug use is also lower. 14% and 6% of teens have tried them, respectively. Meanwhile, 44% of 10th graders in 2000 had tried marijuana. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that kids are getting less rebellious. It just means they're rebelling in maybe a quieter way.
So how are they rebelling now?
Well, the rebellion has moved online. They're rebelling with things like they're avoiding one set of risks, but they're now vulnerable to another. 55% of 15 to 16-year-olds spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat. Only 13% said that they spend less than an hour on social media each day. Only 2% abstain altogether. And you might remember this. I think we've talked about this. This was a Pew Research study from 2024. About 1/3 of teens, say they use either TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, or YouTube almost constantly. They are on one of those platforms, at least one of those platforms, almost constantly.
So real quick, so they are rebelling by being on the internet more? I mean, is like their parents are saying don't and they're doing it anyway? Or?
That might be a little bit of it, but it's the things that they are exposed to. Many of them are consuming things that they're not developmentally ready for. Teens already have underdeveloped impulse control, makes it difficult for them to detach from activities that maybe things like doom scrolling. It might not be only teenagers who have a hard time doing that, or immediately responding to push notifications, or which keeps them online more. Digital risk taking doesn't just impact the way that teenagers interact online, maybe beginning risky relationships, having relationships with people or exchanging information or images that you would never be able to, if your parents could see what you were doing, but in the quietness and the relative privacy of what they have access to online, there's a risk for behavior that they would never be able to accomplish in the light of day.
Well, and unlike paying a guy who's 23 to buy your beer at 7-Eleven, in the olden times, this kind of stuff can follow them around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it doesn't just impact the way that they interact online.
Yeah.
It's playing out offline, too. Many teens are opting out of traditional teenage experiences altogether because they're living so much of their life online.
Yeah.
Fewer of them are interested in getting driver's licenses. Do you remember how we couldn't wait to get our driver's license when we were 16 years old?
On the day.
They're not dating as much. They're not working part-time jobs as much.
Bunch of moles.
Well, they are kind of
they're moles. They're siloing.
That. Yeah,
they're going into their little world, and they're creating their own little world. They can be the king of their world. They can be the star of the movie. They can be anything they want to be as long as they're the only one that exists in it.
Yeah. Well, experts, of course, suggest that parents have access to all their kids' accounts, checking in on what they're posting, who they're interacting with, and having ongoing conversations with the teenagers about what they're seeing online, even when those conversations are uncomfortable. I remember I have coined few phrases, and maybe somebody else said this before but I'm just not aware.
Okay.
If anybody who thinks that being a parent is easy is doing it wrong.
That's true.
You're going to have uncomfortable conversations. I just don't think there's a way out of that. It doesn't matter how good or easy or compliant your kids are. There are going to be uncomfortable conversations. Absolutely. Don't be afraid of those.
No.
You got to stay connected. You got to stay connected to this thing that is a huge part of their world. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it is not a huge part of their world.
I would say, though, I would not have, if I were a parent now of a younger child, I would not have the energy to monitor all their stuff.
No,
there's no way you can monitor all their stuff. First of all, they're smarter than we are about this stuff. And if you think you can catch them, they can find a way around it. And then it's sort of like, what's the point? So it's almost like if they want to do it, they're going to do it. And what we want to do is make them not want to do it. And maybe that is they don't have access to stuff until they're a certain age where their brains are a little more developed, maybe. Maybe they don't get it till they're 13, maybe till they're 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I don't have to deal with it.
I feel like that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that all of this stuff came to us later when my kids were, for the most part, past the ages, where this was something that totally. I had to be totally worried about. Speaking of kids and parenting, while we're on that topic, there's a piece in The Atlantic that really caught my attention. A helicopter parent. Do you remember how old your kids were the first time you heard that? I remember exactly the first time I heard that phrase.
I don't remember.
I think my oldest kid was in kindergarten, which was decades ago. It was like 30 years ago. I remember hearing one of the administrators at their school use the term helicopter parents, and I wasn't sure what it meant, but she said, we don't want to be helicopter parents. We don't want to be hovering
over our kids all the time.
So there is a new term in higher education, and it's called the trailing parent.
No kidding.
That's when a helicopter parent touches down, and that happens at college.
That's
stories of the trailing parent, parents who rent an apartment or buy a condo in the neighborhood of their children's new university or college, hardly raise an eyebrow on college campuses anymore because it's so common. There are stories about kids whose parents, just to help them through that freshman year,
they don't,
rent an apartment in the same town, or kids who spend a semester abroad, and the parents actually will, get an apartment in Barcelona or wherever, so they can be closer.
Who are these people?
In case trauma ensues.
Yeah. Trauma is part of life.
But trauma is part of life. But so I was thinking about my own kids, and I was thinking about myself. Had my mother decided to get an apartment in the same town where I was a freshman in college, I would have been thrilled.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
that would have made
nice,
I think, my freshman year so much easier. But then, fast forward 20 years, 25 years, whatever it was from that time, all three of my kids, who I am really, really blessed to have close relationships with, love them all dearly, and it was so difficult for me when each of them left. if I had suggested something like
No
that,
way.
they would have thought I was crazy.
Horrified.
Yeah.
I like the old days when you never told your kids you loved them. When they're 18, they left forever.
That's a little severe.
Yeah, maybe there's an in between.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty healthy in between. Yeah. What I could believe that there was that a lot of people were doing that. I couldn't believe though that there were so many that in higher education administration, they're not even really surprised by it anymore.
You got to tell parents to butt out.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, when it comes to colleges and universities, I mean, they shouldn't have anything to do with that. When it comes to the kids' relationships and all this, it's like they shouldn't really, frankly, look, if you haven't done your job by then, you can't make up for it. That's it. You had your shot. And if you were too busy or you're doing whatever, that was it. And I'm sorry, but it is the way it is. You can't go back and nurse them as if they are 5 years old and 6 years old anymore.
I can't imagine.
That's why we always encourage you to take this seriously when it matters.
Yeah.
When you have them and they're young and they're forming.
Let them make some mistakes.
Yeah, where it's safe and then guide them. I mean, take it very seriously. It's an overused word, but be intentional when they are young.
Yeah.
Because believe me, you're tired later and you want them to move on and do what they're going to do. And that's okay. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to fall. You're going to pray them up and pray for them and all the things that you can do. But you cannot wrap them in pillows so that when they fall, they don't get a boo-boo when they're 19, 20, 21, 23 years old.
Yeah. And we might be thinking that we're a little more important as parents than we actually are during those years. I
have said this before. I think sometimes parents that do that, it is not at all about their children. It is almost all about the parent, what the parent needs. I don't like the fact that, so-and-so is leaving. I need to be involved. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Really, you're gonna harm their ability to be what they need to be in the future. And if everything's still going okay at home, there's somebody else there you could pay attention to.
Sure.
I mean, let's sort of reconvene and not retire, but refire.
Yeah.
And let's let her enjoy the days ahead, whatever those mean.
You're kind of sending them the message that I don't think you can do this on your own.
Right.
I really don't think you're mature enough to handle this.
Bad.
Let me step in here and help and be, a block and a half away if you need me.
Parents.
On to something just a little bit lighter. Chick-fil-A is launching a new concept store.
Ooh.
With their...
Is it a food store?
Did you know, have you ever heard of Red Wagon Ventures?
Red Wagon Ventures.
That is a new Chick-fil-A brand.
Really?
They just launched a new concept. It's called Daybright, and it's in Hiram, Georgia.
Okay.
So far, there is just one, but they're going to take on like Starbucks. Different new. It's all like coffee drinks, smoothies, juices.
Really?
And then some menu items too that are different from what you will find in a Chick-fil-A.
Is it owned by Chick-fil-A?
It is.
So it's okay. So it's owned by Chick-fil-A. That's right. Georgia. It starts at Atlanta is where Chick-fil-A began. Mm-hmm. And will it be open on Sundays?
That doesn't mention that.
That's a good question, though, isn't it?
That's kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Interesting.
I don't know. Specialty coffees, protein coffees. I mentioned smoothies and juices. A small menu of breakfast food items. That it's kind of at one point it calls them more health conscious breakfast food items, but it's oven baked donuts, stuffed English muffins. A breakfast sandwich and a breakfast burrito.
Tell me the name of it. I want to look it up later. What is the name of it again?
Daybright.
Daybright is
Daybright Coffee and Refreshment.
Daybright.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds kind of cool.
I'll check it out for sure.
There are so many places like that, but I don't know, maybe that just means the market can handle it.
Is it open like all the time? Is it open like early, or is it only a breakfast thing? I mean, that seems like impractical to have a building that is only open till like noon, or one.
I mean, if they're comparing themselves to Starbucks and other coffee shops, those stay open until 9 o'clock at night. Or
really curious about Sundays. That's interesting.
That is the day that all of our employees are guaranteed they will have the day off to
watch football.
Maybe some of them do that. I mean, you can go to church and watch football.
Sure. Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. Spend time with your family and watch football. I'm waiting for you to say, I do at the end. At the end of that. Okay, I'm not going to get it, I guess.
Wait. Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. Okay, good. Would you clone your dog if you could?
I don't really believe in this. You've asked me a really simple question. You asked me what time it is. I'm going to tell you how the watch is made. I don't believe. I don't do that. I don't believe in cloning. I don't believe in alternative ways of creating beings. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't. I don't think it's right. I kind of love the idea that all of the dogs that I've had and all of the dogs that my kids have had, that they're all different. They all have different personalities. I like the idea of, what other dog might, how different will my next dog be. But you never know, though. And sometimes if you have a really good, like right now, I have a dog who sleeps 15 hours a day. He's pretty low maintenance and he's really, really sweet. What if the next one's a little Shih Tzu? There's always the danger in that. So if I was like Tom Brady and I had $50,000 to spend to clone my dog that I love so much. He did. He's a family dog, Lua. Let me ask you this about the process of cloning. Do they decide while the previous dog is alive? Yeah, they have to. Things are looking bad for, Rover, and we're going to make a mini-me out of Rover pretty soon. I don't know. They grab some of the I don't know if they essence did it. Essence of Rover. The essence of Lua in this case. Okay. The thing that I kind of thought was interesting about this. Well, lots of things that I found interesting about this. Lua was Tom Brady's beloved dog, a pit bull mix. Died in 2023. Okay. But I think they had taken Lua's blood long before that in anticipation of wanting to. He's not the first one. He's not the first one to do this. Barbara Streisand said in 2018 that she had her beloved dog cloned. I think you could also clone a horse. It costs a lot more to clone a horse. They're bigger. Go ahead. I don't know if it's a size thing or not, but it costs more to clone a horse. No. I really thought if you cloned an animal, you wouldn't be able to. The animal would look like your previous dog, but it wouldn't necessarily have the same personality traits. True? But that is not true. Some personality traits can actually a part of it. Be a part of it. Huh? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't generally. That's good if people want to do it. I don't care. But I'd say no. I don't, it takes the, people already don't like if you go buy a purebred. You're already in trouble if you don't, rescue. Yeah. Go in and go, okay, I'll take that one. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No, I haven't seen him getting a lot of, hate for this. I think people probably think it's sort of cool to do that. And people would say, well, I had my favorite dog. If I could have that dog back, that'd be fantastic. I would say if you're going to do that, just, start storing up all the blood, now. If you find a good dog and then later the dog turns bad, just ditch that blood. You don't need that one. Yeah. Don't need another version of that. Speaking of animals, while we're still talking about animals, this is not as happy a story as Tom Brady getting to clone his beloved dog, Lua. We've talked about Waymos, and we've talked about Waymos in the city of San Francisco. Waymo is a self-driving car. They are all, for Waymos, they're all Jaguars, and there is no driver. It's weird. I mean, we've done it, and I sat in the front seat with the non-driver,
Yeah.
And I could see the pedals going down and braking, and
you watch the steering wheel move, just
it's
the
crazy.
same, fine movements
it's just crazy.
that you'd see if a driver was sitting in the driver's seat. Yeah,
I think they're more patient though than I think a driver would be.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, sometimes I remember one time in a Waymo, if it was a real person, they would sort of sneak out and just expect the guy would slow down and let you cross. Like humans would do.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They calculate whether they can do it. In other words, everyone coming against a Waymo, you don't have to defer.
Yeah.
You can keep going. The Waymo is not going to, so it could be stuck there forever.
Yeah.
If it's trying to turn left, everything keeps stacking up the way traffic does sometimes.
The few times that I've been in one, I've not had that problem. I mean, I've never felt like I was really stuck someplace for a very long time while I waited. And the only place I've ever been in one was in San Francisco, where traffic is kind of always an issue. I think the reason if you've never seen a Waymo and you live in Dallas, in the city of Dallas, you probably will start to see them soon.
They're in Austin now. I know
they're in Austin now, and they're coming to Dallas. I think they're already doing some test rides in Dallas.
Man, that's crazy. Once you start seeing them, one more thing.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing them, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It is so weird to see these. They're self-driving taxis is what they basically are, right?
They're robo-taxis.
Yeah, robo-taxis,
self-driving cars,
Yeah.
robo-taxis, any one of those names. So Kit Kat, the beloved pet cat at Randa's Market, was run over by a Waymo on October 27th.
Really?
He was rushed to the hospital by a bartender who was working nearby but didn't make it. People are so mad at the Waymo. An outpouring of fury and sadness. He was often on that corner outside the market, and he was sort of a community cat. He was friendly, and people, pet him and said hello to him, and they all knew his name, and they knew where he belonged. His owner said he was a special cat. You could tell by the love and support he's getting from the community that he was amazing. San Francisco supervisor Jackie Fielder said Waymo thinks they can just sweep this under the rug and we'll all forget. But here in the Mission, we will never forget our sweet Kit Kat.
Yeah, I think people are probably tolerant if the self-driving vehicles harm people, but not animals.
Well, do you really think so? This seems to me so crazy. I'm not even sure. I'm gonna have to do a little research on this and see if this actually happened. This is a story out of the UK. A newspaper out of the UK that is reporting this thing that happened in San Francisco.
Right, yeah.
And in this same piece, it says on the same day that Kit Kat was killed, Waymo co-CEO Takedra Mawakana said she thought society is, quote, ready to accept deaths
same day
caused by automated cars.
Oh, my.
Doesn't it?
I think what she might mean is, I don't know this, but I think what she might mean is this is an acceptable cost.
Yeah.
The risk that someone might die.
Risk. Yeah.
The downside is that's what Charlie Kirk said about right to bear arms. That there, when you have freedom, with that comes risk. And if you're going to have these robo taxis, it might result in harm. But I would say not to animals, right?
Well,
people don't want that.
I mean, they don't. Not to animals, but not. I mean, if it had hit a kid, that would have been.
No, I understand. I agree.
I mean, I don't think we're ready for that more than we're ready for it to, hit a cat or a dog.
And we talked about if I had a cat, what I would name the cat.
You did have cats though, and you don't even remember what their names were.
One was Pumpkin and one was Midnight.
Okay.
I still don't know if they were boys or girls. But,
okay.
If can't remember everything.
If you had a cat now, what would you name the cat?
Chairman Meow.
Okay.
Or Casey. Casey.
For kitty cat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Casey.
Yeah.
That's a good name for a cat.
My mother-in-law has a cat named Kitty.
Okay.
But now, in fairness to her, the cat was first my son's cat.
Did it have a different name?
Oh, no.
Same name.
It was just Kitty.
He had named it Kitty?
He named the cat, the cat Kitty. I don't know. I shouldn't disparage. The cat, now looks like Kitty.
So that's an old cat.
It is an old cat.
Yeah, is that fairly old, right?
That cat, my son got that cat, I think, in 2016.
Yeah, I don't know.
20. Well, no, I mean,
what's
10.
the shelf life on cats?
Oh, you know what? Longer than dogs,
Is
I
that
think,
right?
potentially.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. Before we finish, if you'll indulge me, there's something haunting me. I listened to our last podcast.
Okay.
And we talked about the house in Dallas that's on the market for the first time since it was built. It was built for $20 million.
Real quick, my brother has toured that. He said he heard the podcast. He said, "Hey, you know that house?" He said, "Yeah, I've been to that house."
Oh, that's very cool.
Isn't that cool? Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was built in 1996 for $20 million. It's on the market for $23 million now, nearly 30 years later. And I think we marveled at that it cost $20 million to build, but it's on the market for only $23 million now after 30 years. And I think I said something like, well, maybe he got a really good deal. But of course, the opposite would have had to have been true. He probably either he was overcharged or the market is in such terrible shape that he's only so.
Okay.
I could be that everybody is listening is saying, that's not the first mistake you've made. I have a long list of many mistakes you've made, but it sort of reached out and grabbed me and has been haunting me ever since.
Correction in place.
Thank you.
And that is the Wilder Show podcast. Instagram, find us there. Search Wilder Show Pod. Email podcast at wildershow.com. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. We're also on the TikTok at Wilder Show. So like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Da 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 da.